Okay, so um, you won get into real estate investing.
Yeah.
Smart. It's like, what is it? The bedrock of wealth building for like forever. But
hmm
let's be real, it can feel like, whoa, where do I even start?
Yeah.
So much jargon, market's always doing something crazy, and everyone and their cousin says they've got the secret sauce.
Right.
That's what we're doing here, though, right? Going through your research, all the notes you sent over, to find the strategies that actually fit you.
Absolutely. That's the key, isn't it?
Totally. So, buy and hold, flipping, wholesaling, REITs, we're diving into it all.
Music to my ears.
One thing that came up was this idea of a real estate ladder. Like, you start with one strategy and kind of level up. What do you think?
A good way to think about it, yeah. Your research mentioned buy and hold being that first rung for a lot of people.
Right, like it sets you up for the bigger, more complex stuff.
Exactly, but it all comes back to what you're comfortable with, your financial situation, all of that.
Picking your own adventure, basically. So, buy and hold, it's about appreciation,
Yeah.
that your property goes up in value, right? But also cash flow, you're bringing in rent money.
You got it. And your research specifically mentioned opportunity zones as something to watch for with buy and hold.
Opportunity zones. Remind me what those are again.
So basically, areas the government has earmarked for investment. They're often up-and-coming neighborhoods that could see a lot of growth.
So, if you buy there, your property value could jump even higher.
Potentially, yes. It's all about strategic selection.
Makes sense. But with buy and hold, you're often dealing with tenants, right? That can't always be easy.
Ah, yes, the tenant factor. Your notes really hit hard on tenant screening.
Yeah, definitely don't want to skip that step.
It's not just about a credit check. We're talking verifying employment, calling previous landlords, even looking at public records if needed.
Whoa, serious background checks. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry, though, right?
Absolutely. A bad tenant can really derail your investment.
Totally. Okay, so on the flip side, literally there's flipping houses. Much faster pace.
Right. Flipping is all about speed and knowing your numbers.
And finding those diamonds in the rough, those distressed properties, as they're called.
Yes. That's how you buy low and hopefully sell high.
It's like those home reno shows, but with real stakes. Though those always make me nervous how quickly costs spiral out of control.
For sure. And that's why your research emphasizes not over-improving.
Yeah.
Like, don't put a gourmet kitchen in a neighborhood where everyone's happy with laminate countertops.
Good point. Got to tailor it to the market.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got buying and holding, we've got flipping, but what about wholesaling?
Ah, wholesaling. That's an interesting one. It's more about connecting the dots than anything else. You're finding motivated sellers, people who need to sell quickly, and connecting them with buyers who are ready to go.
So it's like being a real estate matchmaker. You're facilitating deals and getting a finder's fee.
Exactly. Low barrier to entry, which is why your research suggests it could be good for new investors.
Makes sense. Less capital needed up front. But then you need to have a network of buyers ready to pounce on these deals.
Exactly. That's key, building a strong buyer's list.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. What about REITs? That's going to be a whole different ball game, right?
It is. It is. REITs are less about owning physical properties and more about owning shares in companies that own those properties. You're sort of like a mini landlord across a whole bunch of properties.
Interesting. So it's a way to get into real estate without actually, well, buying real estate.
Yeah, you're not dealing with tenants or toilets.
Plus, your research mentions there are different types of REITs, right?
Right. Your source talked about equity REITs, mortgage REITs, even hybrid REITs. So there's some homework to do there depending on what kind of real estate exposure you're after.
Gotcha. Lots of options even within REITs. Okay, last one on our list for today, short-term rentals. Airbnb, VRBO, all that jazz. That's exploded in popularity.
It really has.
Oh,
And changed the game for a lot of investors.
big time. What are some of the big things to consider with short-term rentals?
Well, like with traditional rentals, location, location, location. But with short term, it's even more critical. Your notes highlighted understanding your target audience. Who are you trying to attract to your property?
Right. Are you going for the family vacation crowd or the business traveler looking for a stylish stay?
Exactly.
It's almost like you're running a mini hotel.
In a way, yeah. But instead of hundreds of rooms, you've got one, maybe a few, to make shine.
Yeah. And your research goes even deeper, talking about micro niches. Like,
Micro niches?
yeah. So not just say families on vacation, but families who are really into like sustainable travel, or maybe they only stay at places that are pet friendly.
Okay, so it's getting super specific, like those ads that know what you want before you do.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, going through all this, it's clear research is key, But where do you even start? My head's spinning with all this info.
It's a lot. I hear you. That's why your research said to focus on like actionable steps, not just theory. Right, right. Less talk, more action. Makes sense. But how do you know what to do first? I mean, there's so much to learn about markets, financing, the legal stuff.
That's where your network comes in. Remember that dream team we talked about?
Oh, yeah, the real estate agents, lenders, contractors, all that.
They're your boots on the ground.
Right, because they've, like, been there, done that.
Your notes even mention going to those local real estate meetups or those online forums.
Oh, right, right. To, like, learn from others.
Yeah, hear their success stories, but also how they messed up.
Because everyone makes mistakes, right? Especially starting out.
It's part of the process.
It's how you learn. Okay, so it's easy to get caught up in the excitement, picturing those profits. But what about risks? Real estate isn't always a smooth ride.
You're telling me no investment is risk-free, right?
Hmm.
Markets change, interest rates go up, that leaky roof appears out of nowhere.
The dreaded leaky roof, every homeowner's nightmare.
And that's why due diligence came up in your research.
Due diligence? That sounds intense.
It is. It's basically your detective work. Before you buy anything, you got to look beyond the pretty pictures, understand the numbers, the property's condition, all of it.
So it's like dating. You don't just marry someone after one good date, right?
Huh. Love that analogy.
Got to make sure you're compatible, your goals align.
Exactly. Real estate investing is a commitment.
Okay, so we've got our A-team assembled, we're doing our homework, and we're being realistic. What's next?
Time to actually do something.
Well, like, buy a property right now.
Not necessarily this minute, but your research did say don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. You research and research, but never actually take that first step.
Ah, I see. It's like dipping your toes in the pool. Eventually, you got to jump in, right? Like at some point, you just got to go for it. But your research also talks about starting small. What does that even mean in real estate?
Well, it could be something like maybe you dip your toes in with REITs, start with a smaller investment there, or some people explore house hacking.
House hacking. That sounds kind of intense.
It can be a good strategy, though.
Yeah.
Basically, you're living in a property, could be your own home and renting out a room or even a whole floor.
Ah, so you're basically your own tenant, offsetting those mortgage payments.
Exactly. A way to get started without buying a separate investment property right off the bat.
Clever. Okay, so you've started small, got a few wins under your belt. How do you go from there to building like a serious real estate empire?
Good question. Your research mentioned something called the BRRR method.
The what method?
BRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Catchy.
Right. Okay, it's got a ring to it, but break it down for me.
So you buy a property that needs some love, a fixer-upper. You fix it up, get a tenant in there.
Right.
As you pay down the mortgage and the property value hopefully goes up, you've built equity.
Okay, got it. Keep going.
Now you refinance. You leverage that increased value to pull out some of that equity and use it as a down payment on your next property. And you just keep going.
Whoa, that's like real estate snowball effect.
Exactly.
That's next level stuff. But for someone just starting out, it's easy to get overwhelmed. What advice would you give?
Don't try to do everything at once. Remember that real estate ladder. Focus on one strategy. Get really good at it before moving on. Build that foundation.
Makes sense. Master each level before you climb higher.
Precisely.
You know, one thing that stuck with me from the research was the idea of defining your why. Like, why are you even doing this?
Absolutely. Is it financial freedom you're after? Early retirement? Maybe you want to leave a legacy for your family? Or even just make your community a better place?
It gives you that extra push when things get tough. Because let's be real, it's not always going to be smooth sailing.
Oh, no way. You're going to hit bumps in the road. Difficult tenants, unexpected repairs, maybe the market takes a dip. That's why knowing your why is crucial.
So you can weather those storms and come out stronger on the other side.
Exactly.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. There's always something new to discover in the world of real estate.
For sure. But the key takeaway, I think, is just to start, right? Take that first step.
Couldn't agree more.
So, to everyone listening, what will your real estate